Hello everyone, welcome to Pathomed. Today, let us study about hyaline perisplenitis, also famously called the icing sugar spleen or the candy coated spleen. So, this perisplenitis, it is a type of fibrocongestive splenomegaly. It is due to fibrocongestive splenomegaly. Let us study the pathogenesis. Why does this occur? So, the first reason being the portal venous hypertension. Portal venous hypertension is the first reason. It occurs due to cirrhosis, either because of liver cirrhosis or right side cardiac failure, which causes increased hypertension in the portal vein. So we all know the portal vein, it is contributed by the superior mesenteric vein and the splenic vein here. This is vein, the splenic vein. So these are the two tributaries of the portal vein. Because of this portal venous hypertension, which transcends into the splenic vein as well. So this dilatation in the splenic vascular sinusoids, there are sinusoids in the spleen which get dilated. This pooling of blood because of the poor venous drainage, because of portal vein hypertension, this poor venous drainage in the spleen, which results in this dilatation of vascular sinusoids. This poor venous drainage results in dilatation of vascular sinusoid. These are vascular sinusoid beds in the spleen which get dilated, which ultimately result in this exposure, this prolonged exposure of this blood cells like RBCs to the spleen macrophages. There are tissue macrophages in the spleen. These macrophages, they destroy the RBCs. They are trapped and destroyed. So it results in this perivascular hemorrhage. Hemorrhage results in hemorrhage, which is ultimately followed up by this extensive fibrosis and pigment deposition, like hemosiderin iron pigment gets deposited onto this hemorrhage, and this calcium deposition as well. So it is because of the entire pathophysiology is because of congestive splenomegaly. The second reason being the sickle cell disease. Also, it is seen in sickle cell disease because it is a vaso-occlusive disease. So the central arteriole in the white pulp of the spleen, the central white pulp of the spleen, in which the central arteriole, it gets occluded. Because of this occlusion, this hemorrhage around that vessel, periarteriolar hemorrhage into around that vessel, and this hemorrhage will be followed up by mineral deposition like iron, calcium gets deposited, and this extensive fibrosis. This ultimately lead to the formation of this famous Gandhi bodies. Gamma Gandhi bodies. Gamma Gandhi bodies are nothing but the extensive fibrous tissue containing the calcium and iron pigment deposition, which is seen in this congestive splenomegaly, this hyaline perisplenitis, or this famously called icing sugar spleen. So let us see the gross findings of this icing sugar spleen. Grossly, this is a capsule. Spleen has a capsule. Over the capsule, there are irregular tan white fibrous plaques. This fibrous plaques gets deposited over this capsule, or it can be seen as a sugar coating as well, as if the spleen is dipped into a sugar syrup. So it is famously called sugar icing. Sugar icing. Also called the sugar icing spleen or this hyaline perisplenitis. Coming to the microscopic findings, so we see this is a splenic tissue. There is extensive fibrous tissue, and this fibrous tissue, within the fibrous tissue, we find this brown pigment deposition. These are nothing but the gamma Gandhi bodies. This hemosiderin pigment deposition here. Another image showing you this dark brown. These are the darkly stained gamma Gandhi bodies. It contains the hemosiderin pigment deposition along with calcium and iron contains, and this extensive fibrosis around that within the tissue. This extensive fibrosis within the spleen, extensive fibrous tissue. This is all about the sugar coated spleen. Thank you, everyone.